Hello, how is everybody? My name is Maria de Almeida. I am psychoanalyst, so for those of you who are interested in therapy or videos, send me a message. You have all my contact details online. In my previous video, we have been talking with an example about the obsessive compulsive disorder. It is a very common disorder and it's also quite complex. This is what I thought that you might be interested in continue talking a bit more about this disorder and trying to figure out what can trigger an obsessive compulsive disorder. If we continue using the example that we were seeing the other day, the clinical case from Freud Rachman, remember that the patient was a student at university. At the time he visited Freud, he was incapable to study. What can trigger an obsessive compulsive disorder? In this example, it's very linked to a conflict that his dad experienced. And now we are going to see how. The dad of the patient had married his mom, who was coming from a wealthy family. However, the patient remembered that at some point he had overheard a conversation in which he found out that his dad was in fact courting, he was in love with a poor woman. But in the end, he had made the decision of marrying his mom. Guess what? While he was in university, the patient received a letter from his mom saying that a wealthy relative had told her that when he finished university, he would be able to marry his daughter, who was wealthy. See what is happening? The patient is experiencing exactly the same conflict as his dad did. He has to choose between marrying the poor woman he loved or the wealthy one. And you know what happened? That is a conflict he cannot face. This is why he got sick. Because if he couldn't finish university, because he couldn't study, then he wouldn't have to marry the woman he didn't love. As we saw in previous videos, this obsessive compulsive disorder is very related to the wish of death for the father and the guilt. So, it's very complex and, as you can see, is quite linked to the life of the patient, quite opposed to other theories that claim that all these obsessions and compulsions could be triggered by the neurotransmitters that we have in the brain. Another characteristic of the obsessive compulsive disorder is that they have an extreme ambivalence of affection. Unfortunately, their way of loving is very sadistic. They tend to make suffer their loved ones, especially their partners, until they make them cry, and then they regret it. Why is this happening? Well, as we saw, it's completely normal to have this ambivalence of affections. What happened to obsessive compulsive people is that it's extreme. So when they love someone, they hate him a lot. So that creates a lot of doubts. So imagine, in their mind, they tend to idealize love because they are people with high morals, and they ask themselves, how is it possible that I love my girlfriend if I have hate her? How is it possible that I love my dad if I have hate him? So that keeps them continuously in the doubt. This is going to be transferred to all the daily activities. It's quite visible in obsessive compulsive disorders, like when they have the symptoms that they need to check that they have locked the door 15 times. Or when they are reading something but they need to go back to read it again because they are not sure of what they have read. Fantasies are all the time interrupting them. And then, another thing which is also very common in these people is that they are highly intellectual and they find a lot of pleasure in thinking. It's like they were hanging in the prior moment to the action, in the prep. They enjoy a lot all these complex thinkings, but for them it's very difficult to take action. All the activity is in their thoughts. So, I think it's something not very efficient. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know it's a complex disorder, but I hope it's helping you. Thank you. Bye!